It is June 2nd, 2026, 5:30. I call this meeting to order. All right, first order of business is to discuss governing board goals for 2026-2027 school year. All right. So this school year, we had three goals. Build teacher capacity and instructional practices and skills to improve student achievement in the core academic areas of English language arts and math. Complete a comprehensive evaluation of the infrastructure needs of each facility in Yuma District 1 and develop a prioritized long-term plan to address identified needs, ensuring safe and functional learning environments. And our third one was to build a strategic framework and long-term plan to proactively study and address demographic shifts and enrollment trends, ensuring data-informed decision-making that supported sustainable district growth and resource allocations. Remember last year when we were talking about our goals, the last two, goal 2 and 3, we all agreed were kind of a long-term goal. It wasn't something we expected completed in the first year. So those are goals that I think we're going to carry over, continue with those because those are long-term. So then now we are at a point where we get to find out what the boards feel for the next goals for next year. I have a couple that I'd like to throw on the table and discuss with you guys. Hopefully everybody's brought some ideas so we can brainstorm this. Academics, I think, is a must every year. I think we need to have something associated with academics. I've got written here, focus on core subjects. I know we did math this year, but reading and math are two most important. I think once you comprehend reading and math, you can learn science and other things if you can read and do math. Another one that's come up over this year, customer service with the administrators and those that interface with the public and teachers or parents. And discipline is the third one that I have. I know we've made strides towards getting a better grip on our discipline. So those are the three that I propose to the board to talk about. And, if we've got anybody else has some, we can add it and talk through and see which ones we want. We do not have to stick to 3, right? Ideally, 3 is one of that number that we try to hold to, just not to have 25 goals out there, but 3 to 5, I think is a good range of goals to have, considering 2 of them are carryover and have some momentum behind them already. Anybody else have any that would like to put on the table to discuss?
So for clarification, you're taking the teacher capacity goal, the first goal. So do we have 3 in place already?
Right, so that one was, we can talk about whether we've achieved that, right? But then that kind of why I threw academics as a standard one, right? The academics is, the end goal is the academics, but what feeds into it to get there, which would be continued teacher support, the tools that they need. So I'm not saying we take it off, but just saying we're specific to math and ELA in that goal. Right, and we've got some data here that shows we've got some progression in those areas. And so do we want to massage that a little bit and change it around and stay focused? Because I think we, as a school board, should stay focused on academics. We're not above state. We're not number 1 in the state, so I don't think we should ever pull academic advancements until we are number 1 in the state. That's what we're here for. It's our primary objective is to educate children. And so I do believe that if we want to add another one in there, there's room for that because we have momentum on that. Does that help?
Okay. So I guess massaging on those, the academics, yeah, we're making strides and we're going in the right direction, I think, is what it looks like to me. I see in here that there's the majority of the schools increased. There's a couple obviously that decreased in their numbers here. But if you look at the average, more of them increased than the ones that decreased. So I think we're in the right direction in that respect. As far as disciplinary action, we're doing what we asked you to do. You know, and I would just say that for me, I want to see more of that. I want to see more, and this is me wanting to be more aggressive against aggression, where it comes to personal or verbal attacks or physical attacks, those aggressive actions on person to person. I'd like to see those handled a little bit more of punitive punishment instead of restorative practice. And we can always go back to restorative practice, but I think we need to deal them right away and say, we're not going to tolerate this. This is not the way they're going to do in our school. So as far as disciplinary actions, I think we're in the right direction, but I would like to see that we, I guess, handle the more serious incidences seriously. So, you know, yeah, keep that, the disciplinary, because we're going in the right direction. You know, we've addressed customer complaints, if you want to call it customer service. We've built a form for them to be able to complain on, so you can build the data to find out what's going on and what do we need to do instead of, you know, having phone calls and conversations, but not really getting anywhere. We have an exit interview form now that if there is a problem and they pull their kids out of school, now we can understand why if they choose to tell us that. So I think those are going in the right respect for customer service also. You know, we're handling those two things. So those I like. I think that was where I was kind of going with those. You know, you're hitting the nail on the head with kind of where I'm at too. And I think that was one thing that, and you and I had kind of vaguely talked about it. You know, I told you that, you know, my next thing that I would like to see is how do we hold kids back that are not passing their grade without holding them back from their class? And we talked about maybe, you know, letting them keep graduate, you know, going with their class onto the next grade level. But if Johnny failed third grade math and is going to fourth grade, he should still take third grade math. And on the reverse of that, if Johnny is a fourth grader and excelling in sixth grade math, why isn't Johnny taking fifth or sixth grade math instead of being in a class that's boring him to death and then possibly being a problem? So I don't know how you.
Is that, I guess, I mean, I'm hearing some assumptions, but like at my kid's school, they do that. If they're unable to do fifth grade math and he's in fourth grade math, he's going to fifth grade math. So are you referring to situations where it's not happening, or you're just wondering if there's a plan for that?
Well, what I'm saying is it is happening, that we are moving them up, but are we holding them back? Is what my question is. And the assumption I have and what I've heard from parents is that my child was failing in this subject, but they still passed them forward anyway. And I think.
Are you hearing that they think their children should have been held back altogether, or are you hearing that parents are wanting them to move up with their class, but then we need to accommodate them and bring them back down for certain things? That's what you're hearing?
Only for certain subjects, right? Don't fail the child entirely, but if the child is having trouble in math, that child should not be accelerating to the next level if they don't understand what they were being taught the first time. Is what we had talked about that, about how do you make that compromise, or how do you do that to be able to let them go ahead and progress with their class, so you're not holding them back technically, but you're making them relearn third grade math if that's what they have to do, so that they are successful at the end game of eighth grade going on to high school.
And this is, I'm glad you brought that up, because it kind of helps to describe the goals. You know, our responsibility is to establish the goal and give Dennis the leeway of how he accomplishes that. And we as a board can get together and have study sessions with him and the administrative team and brainstorm these exact ideas. But I like to leave the specifics to him and his team, because then we hold them accountable at the end of the year.
Exactly.
So we had brainstorms through this and you kept doing the same thing and nothing happened. That's on you. Or takes the ideas, implements them, you know, talks to the team and come up with how they improve them, right? So it's good. These are things that are good. That feeds into the academic,
Exactly.
the goal, and how are they going to ensure that at the end of our time with the children, do we ensure that they're on par or above in all subjects?
Right.
So they have to figure out how that K through 8 at the end of the year gets accomplished. But it's always good to sit down in a study session and have these brainstorms, because we all come from different areas. We don't live and breathe it every day, so sometimes we look at it from a different perspective and could come up with a good idea and say, well, yeah, how do we do that? And then in that brainstorming, what we're doing as a board is giving our support to doing those things, right? I mean, we recently had an expulsion. The board unanimously supported the district. Those things show the administrator and Dennis that they have our support as a board to move forward in those new ways.
100%.
Can you read the first, I was looking to make sure I didn't have it in front of me. Read the first goal again. It's like teacher support.
Okay, build teacher capacity and instructional practices and skills to improve student achievement in the core academic areas of English, language arts, and math.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I see that being relevant, obviously, still from an academic standpoint. And to me, it's like, what lever does the board, not the board, because we're not actually doing the work, does the district have? And how do you write it in a way that's strength-based? That, to me, I love this, and the fact that we're trying to build teacher capacity and ability to present instruction and to create different ways of instructing these children that they can learn. So then the end result is the increase in these scores. I don't think that changes to me. I also, to your point about customer service, whatever, the customer service, I think the terminology doesn't land great with me, but I wonder if there's not just teacher, like build personnel capacity, I don't know, teacher and
So
personnel
you're
capacity.
the HR person, you come up with the term.
I-
Us, we just say it's customer service. Be nice to that person, right?
Yes.
You
No,
come-
the
you
reason, I
eloquently
get what
put
you're
it.
trying to say, but I'm wondering it's how that lands with like employees, is that I don't think that their customer service is bad. I think that it's building the capacity of these people. The parents, I am a parent and I can be this way too. Like the parents and the world that we operate in is so difficult. And what they are getting paid and what they are dealing with do not equate to each other of the difficult situations that they have to handle. And it's our children, right? So when something happens and they show up into the very emotional states at these schools. So to me, it's building, again, the capacity and the resources for these employees, which can be trauma informed, which can be customer facing, which can include, and that's where I think that, to your point, that these leaders could determine what the employees need. But I think it still falls into this whole capacity of the whole school system. And the more that we build, and what I'm hearing from the past 6 months has been like every month to interview like 3 to 5 people doing the work and asking them like, what is it that you think your fellow teachers need, that you need? And what I'm hearing is it's an increasingly difficult world and the needs of these children are different. And so they need different resources and techniques. And so to me, it kind of falls into that same, and maybe we reword that goal to be more encompassing of things, but
Right, and the
that's my
customer
thought.
service aspect of it is when you're hired as an administrator or front desk or any of these different positions that will interact with the parents more regularly than others, providing tools and training on how to, in the private industry world, you either learn or you go to training. How do you deal with that customer that is just bent out of shape and screaming? How do you turn that conversation around so that when you part ways, they're happy and we make some progress in the right direction? You can let a parent sit there and scream, and you can smile and nod your head, and they walk out the door, but you didn't change the way they left, right? And being able to find training and tools, or perhaps somebody that's got, a counselor coming in, intervening when you have a parent scream, whatever those are, providing people that interface with our parents some sort of tools that they can use, rather than, because I've been there where, you can let somebody scream and holler at you, and if you just smile and nod your head, you think you're doing the right thing. You're not agitating, and you're not making the situation worse, but they walk away and they're like, that was
You didn't solve the
useless.
problem.
Yeah, the problem is still the same. I just walked out and you were nice. And so something like that, and that doesn't always come naturally, right? There are tricks and tips, not tricks, but there are methods to engage with that person. And you can take somebody that's emotionally distraught and bring down the emotion a little bit, enough to where that interaction then becomes value to both people. And that's what, when I say customer service, that's what I'm meaning.
Yeah.
I'm not meaning that people don't have it. I'm just saying that because what you just described, parents are coming in emotionally charged right off the bat. It's their children that they're going to protect, right? So that's their position. And us as the adults that don't have the child in the situation, we don't have that emotion. So they're coming at us charged up and ready to go. We've got to diffuse it so we can communicate to them and share. Because if you don't, you gain no ground, no
Yeah.
value in the conversation.
I just think it kind of can be encompassed into that first goal is what I'm thinking, is because we're building the capacity of our employees. And at the end of it, it's all ties back to student centered, right? That if a parent or anyone comes at me and it's completely not in the best interest of the child, it's easier for me to be able to stand in that response back. Like, tell me how this impacts your child.
Right.
I can see how it's impacting you, but we're like, how is this impacting the education of your child? And to me, I think there's a way, if we're really trying to keep it, and I agree with like less goals and more, and then the team, and we can get some resources, is like, how do you then make that happen? What are the action items that are tied to the,
If you write
goals that-
district personnel capacity, something like
Yeah,
that,
that's-
so it
Staff
expands it.
capacity.
Or
Yeah, I
staff
don't know if
capacity,
staff's
yeah.
inappropriate.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
staff.
staff.
I know
think
people get
staff.
offended by being called staff.
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, so,
Employee
change
capacity.
it,
employee
not
capacity.
just teacher focused, but
Yeah.
district employee focused.
And I think you're talking about like de-escalation strategy.
Yes, so there's a lot of terms and you guys would know,
De-escalate the situation.
so you can have a
provide
productive
resolution.
conversation.
Is there any conferences or things that, training sessions that they could sign up for, or they could go, I mean, how they want us to go to the ASBA conferences for
Right.
this and for that. Is there something like that that would be
Well, they have
customer
professional
service
development days.
related?
That could be a track, or it could be, I mean, again, like onboarding, they do a great job. That could be a piece of that. I think there's lots of good resources, and probably even some free ones locally that we can get someone to do. It's just, it's easier said than done, when
In the
you're,
past, we brought in some individuals that
Mhm.
were out to the district. We've also done our own internal training as well. We did a book study before, so it's just different kind of strategies that we can use to empower our staff, just depending on what the direction of the board is.
I know that for us, Arizona Avenue,
Excuse me.
they have classes
Mm.
that electricians or customer service oriented people like us, we can go to those and they can teach us how to talk to the customer,
Okay.
how to de-escalate a situation, how to actually end up on their side by the end of the conversation, because we're coming in to solve a problem.
Mhm.
They're fired up.
Yeah.
They heard from the other electrician before us of just how bad it was and these things, then we got to be able to calm that situation down and be transparent,
Mhm.
be open about it and tell them this is what the situation is, and let them, scream and yell a little bit, but also calm them down. And at the end of the day, it's a good situation for everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's for us. I don't know if they can do that in a school setting, but
Yeah.
I know that Arizona at Work can do that for the professional industry as far as
Mhm.
the trades.
Okay.
Yeah, because you hit the nail on the head. How do you take the conversation to how does this impact your child's education?
well, and the solution focus, right? It's like, you're upset. That's when someone calls me, like, what have you done? Like, what would be a good solution for you? Have you reached out to the people that actually can help your
Mhm.
child? Because I can listen, no doubt, but what is the solution? And when someone's like, well, I haven't thought about that, then there's some accountability piece too, because it's not always doing whatever the parent says.
Right.
It's what's right for the child, but what's right for the district. And sometimes what's right for the district is an expulsion, because of the safety of others. And we never want to do that if we don't have to, but there are times where the risk outweighs the you know, the child being there at that point. But to me, that I just think it's already encompassed, and maybe we just
Just
reword
reword
that
it.
and rework it. And again, at the end of the day, it's, and if we want to add any other
So
subject,
so
but I
build
think it's,
district staff capacity in instructional and, I want to say, because instructional is specifically
Yeah.
for teachers, but
Yeah, I
what
know
word would
you're-
fit in there for like professional growth, or what would be a nice word to put right there to say that, you know, people skill. That's kind of what I'm looking for, is a better word than
Here's one
people skill.
option, so build employee capacity and organizational systems that support outstanding customer service, strengthen stakeholder relationships, enhance trust and engagement across the district. That's one option.
Yeah, and keep instructional in. Was instructional still in there?
No, but we can add it in, yeah.
Yeah, so that takes the instructional piece and then it expands it across all of the district. I do like that.
you can have your computer if you want.
I mean, just let me know if you need it.
Okay.
I really need a computer.
Should have been more prepared. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I think, I mean, we do have some things we're doing now for teacher development where we can take the same kind of concept, and I'll talk about it a little bit more. I don't want to give too much away of our strategy. We'll talk about that in the executive session, but we do have some things we're working on to develop our teachers where I think we could do a similar approach for staff and be able to accomplish that. And when different things throughout the year that can hit on those things, maybe renew focus on those or elaborate on those things. So we do have some things in place there that I think can expand out to our other staff members and other employees.
Yeah, so I mean, that makes goal number 1 pretty heavy. I mean, goal 2 and 3 are heavy too, but.
You're good now.
It's like 5 or 6 goals in 3.
I think 2 and 3 though are blended tightly enough together that you could make it one goal with the right wording, because you're not going to have. You need to do an infrastructure. You need to understand the infrastructure and the needs and the growth, but you also have to understand the demographics for all of that
They're
to come
tied
together. So I think if there's a way we can work on that, and if the board wants us to, you know, we can do some suggested rewording of those and present that in the weekly report, and then you can
I like
provide that
I'm
feedback.
not opposed to 2 goals that are as heavy as these are.
Mhm.
These are pretty in depth and you know, it's like you said, it's like having 6 goals here.
Yeah.
But you know, we'll just put them in 2.
But the nice
So if
thing
you
is they're
wanted to do that.
very aligned with the conversations we've been having at the leadership level and the things that we value and we want to move forward with too. So I think they work really well with what we're working on. They wouldn't be pulling us in a lot of different directions. It would be continuing the work that we find value in and that we're working towards as well.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to take a shot at putting
Okay.
those 2 together to retain both of them.
Okay.
ChatGPT.
Gemini.
Gemini, what's that? Is that a?
It's a Google.
Gemini is amazing.
The Google
lots of
Chat
things.
GTP. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
We'll talk
There's
about
only a few
This-
thousand out there for you to choose from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
We have an AI policy now, so we only get to choose from
Oh.
one,
You're one.
our one.
Yes.
So does anybody have any others? I mean, is everybody comfortable with what we've got now?
I like
I
it.
think
like
that's
it.
our shortest
I think-
goal setting meeting.
I mean, I think that to me, I feel good because it's like, those are the North Stars, right? And then now the job is of the district and the leadership to say, what are the levers they're pulling to be able to do this? And then when we have questions and we have what information on how that's working or not working, then that's where we're at.
And I think with the help of Julie Bacon last year and the board looking at big
Yeah.
picture, that we've created goals that are going to be 3-5 years down the road with the same things, because that is, we're looking at big picture long term
Mm-hmm.
and not short term stuff. And so I put more value in long term
Yeah, sustainability,
Yep.
for
Yep.
sure.
than I do short term accomplishments.
Yep.
I mean, they're important, but our job is to look out 3 to 10 years or more.
Yep.
Okay. All right, well, we will move on to action items. Are we ready to go on that? All right, so action item 3.1, possible action to approve Price Elementary School GMP summary adjacent ways validation. Mr. Acosta.
Mr. President, members of the board, the purpose of the guaranteed maximum price submitted by Pilkington Construction is to establish the maximum price this construction project will cost. So your approval tonight will allow the district to proceed with construction with their agreed upon construction company in order to start our James D. Price build over at YPG. So this will give us the accountability for the project, budget control to ensure all other subcontractors work within that listed price. This action represents a critical milestone in advancing the project for pre-construction planning into the construction phase, supporting this timely delivery of the school facility for the district and for Yuma Proving Ground community. It is our recommendation that Price Elementary School GMP summary and adjacent and provided documentation be approved by the school governing board.
Do you know if the guaranteed maximum price also includes if it comes in under? Is that different split between the district and the contractor? Is it all to the contractor or all back to the district?
It all goes back to the district.
Okay, so they're not getting the carrot for coming in under.
No, but we're going to be pretty close to that GMP. Just
Right. No, I suspect we are, but these contracts are written where you incentivize the contractor to come in under budget.
Sure.
And they'll split it at a 60-40 or whatever that ratio is to incentivize them to come in under budget.
Right. This is their price proposal, so they won't go above it, and anything under it saves us.
Okay. And I'm sure you've mentioned this before, but the 10 million, is that just our piece of the price?
So no, 8 million of it was from a grant from the department board, and then we are pitching in the difference.
Okay.
So that's our contribution.
The majority is not us.
Yeah.
That's why we can make it happen.
So when the project first came to life, pre-COVID, what was it, like 25 years ago?
That's what it feels like.
20% of the project was $800,000. And so the school facilities board, Mr. Dunn, took that to the school facilities board and got that $800 for us from the school facilities board. And we've been just hanging on to that for when the project became alive. Now that it's alive, there's a $1.2 million gap, which we're covering out of our own budget. $800,000 is coming from the school facilities board money, and then the other is coming from the department board.
And we're okay to spend that money?
Yeah, we've had it set aside for a year or two now. Yep, so we're good to
No
go.
impact on us?
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, I like that. It's not to exceed and we give you back what we don't spend.
Mhm.
So we need a motion.
Yes.
Let me see, I'm going to, motion to approve the Price Elementary School GMP summary adjacent ways validation.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. This is the second pen that died. Let me see if I have one more. Got
Or
one
tell
more.
pace setter to like step their game up. Or what is that?
These aren't our pens.
What is it? Avenir, what is it?
ECOs. I'll
Oh,
let you take it up with them.
yeah. I will.
That's
Wait a minute. No.
Yeah, no, blue. No, this works, sorry. All right, at this time, we move on to action item 3.2, recommendation that the governing board approve the call for executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431-03 for the purpose of review and discussion of the superintendent's evaluation. All right, I move that we go into executive session. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, moved by Keith or myself and second by Mr. Stoner. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We will move to executive session. All right, moving on to action item 3.3, Superintendent's Contract Performance Pay 2025-2026. I will make the motion that the board approves the performance pay for Superintendent Ponder for 2025-2026. We have a second?
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
All right, thank you. I
Congratulations on your
appreciate it.
performance
Thank
pay,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
With that, I will adjourn the special meeting.